Welcome to The Good Woman Awakens. This is a space for women who were taught to be good, but were never taught to be whole. Here, we do not perform empowerment, we examine it. We look at patterns, we look at conditioning, we look at the roles we were trained to play, and the identities we are ready to release. This is not about blaming men. It is not about bitterness. And it is not about noise. It is about awareness, emotional sovereignty, and the quiet courage to see clearly. If something feels uncomfortable here, well, stay with it. Awakening is rarely loud, but it is always honest. Let's begin. Projection can feel like love until reality arrives. In this episode, we explain projection, shadow, and loving potential through Jung's primary framework and Bowen family systems, triangles, and anxiety management. We also introduce research on tendency for interpersonal victimhood, TIV, to show how grievance-based interpretation and rumination can intensify attribution errors in relationships. Finally, we give a Stoic tool for testing impressions, how to pause before you assent to the story in your head. If you're tired of confusing hope with evidence, this is your calm wake-up call. Educational only, not therapy. If you are in danger or experiencing abuse, seek local professional help urgently. Projection is one of the most expensive blind spots in love, because it doesn't feel like blindness. It feels like connection. It feels like recognition. It feels like, I see you. It feels like chemistry. It feels like soul. And that is why it is so powerful. Because the mind does not experience it as imagination. It experiences it as truth. But sometimes, you are not seeing them. You are seeing your own inner picture. Projection is when you place something unconscious onto someone else. A hope, a fear, a need, a wound, an ideal. A story your nervous system wants to believe. So you don't fall in love with who they are. You fall in love with who they represent. You fall in love with the meaning your mind assigns to them. And meaning can feel very convincing. This is why some women say, I don't know what happened, he changed. But often, he didn't change. Reality simply arrived, and the projection could no longer hold. In Jungian psychology, projection is closely connected to the shadow. The persona is the mask we show the world. The shadow is everything we disown. Our anger, our authority, our desires, our standards, our ambition, our boundaries. When these parts are pushed out of awareness, they do not disappear. They go underground. And what goes underground eventually seeks expression, often through other people. So a woman who has disowned her own authority may feel magnetically drawn to a man who appears decisive. A woman who has disowned her anger may feel captivated by a man who is intense or unpredictable. A woman who has disowned her own desire may feel electrified by a man who seems full of life. But what she is feeling is not always love. Sometimes it is recognition of something she has not yet claimed in herself. And when the relationship disappoints her, the pain is deeper than ordinary heartbreak. Because it is not just a relationship collapsing. It is the collapse of the inner picture she was living inside. Family systems theory adds another layer to this. When anxiety builds between two people, the system often forms a triangle. A third element enters the dynamic to stabilize tension. Sometimes that third point is a child. Sometimes it is a friend. Sometimes it is work. Sometimes it is a new partner. And sometimes The third point is a fantasy about who someone is, or who the relationship could become. Projection can function like a psychological triangle. It reduces anxiety because it gives the nervous system a story, and the human nervous system loves stories, even inaccurate ones, because certainty feels safer than ambiguity. There is also something researchers call a tendency toward interpersonal victimhood. This includes patterns like rumination, moral superiority, and heightened sensitivity to perceived harm. In those patterns, projection becomes even stronger. Intent is assumed, motives are interpreted, memories become selective, and slowly, the relationship turns into a courtroom where one person is always defending and the other is always proving. If you are an empathic woman, you may respond to this dynamic by trying to restore harmony. You explain, you clarify, you repair, you overgive, you soften, you try to show your goodness. But the more you perform goodness, the more the projection can continue, because projection feeds on emotional labor. So, how do you stop projecting? Not by becoming cynical, not by becoming suspicious, not by closing your heart. You stop projecting by becoming conscious. Here is a simple method. When you feel strongly drawn to someone, pause. And instead of asking, "How do I feel about them?" ask yourself, "What am I imagining? What am I hoping? What am I filling in? What story am I completing for them?" Then ask a second question. What have they actually done? Not what they promised, not what they implied, not what you sensed, what they have demonstrated through behavior, because behavior is the only language the nervous system can reliably trust. Now add a Stoic practice. The Stoics taught something very simple but powerful. Test impressions before believing them. When your mind says, "He's different," pause. Ask, "What evidence do I have over time?" When your mind says, "He didn't mean it," pause. Ask, "What pattern am I observing?" When your mind says, "This is special," pause. Ask, "What reality supports that feeling?" This small pause protects you from fantasy, because projection moves quickly, reality moves slowly. Projection fades when you allow time to reveal character. It fades when you stop filling in gaps. It fades when you allow behavior to speak, and behavior always speaks. Reality may feel quieter than fantasy, less intoxicating, less dramatic, but quiet reality is safer. And in the long run, quiet reality is where peace lives. Notice what resonated, and notice what resisted. Both are information. Sometimes what unsettles you is not attack, it is recognition. You cannot change your past. You cannot rewrite the years you overgave. You cannot undo the times you stayed longer than you should have. But you can change what you tolerate now. You can change what you explain away. You can change what you excuse. You can change the standards you quietly lower to keep peace. Awareness does not make you cold, it makes you clear. And when a good woman becomes clear, she stops negotiating with patterns that cost her dignity. She stops mistaking endurance for love. She stops calling emotional labor devotion. She stops trying to be the reason someone else matures. She turns inward. She stabilizes herself. And from that place, her choices change naturally, not dramatically, not angrily, quietly. Until next time, stay conscious, stay steady, and stay awake.